Do you want to learn English faster and smarter? Imagine adding new words to your vocabulary every day without feeling bored. What if I told you there's a simple way to make learning fun, easy, and exciting? Stick around because today we're going to reveal some of the best techniques for building your English vocabulary that you can start using right away. Welcome to English Tone. Here, we help you learn English in fun and simple ways. Today, we will talk about how to learn and remember new English words easily. If you want to improve your English vocabulary, this video is for you. Make sure to watch until the end because we have some exciting tips to share. Stick around because today we're going to reveal some of the best techniques for building your English vocabulary that you can start using right away. Techniques for learning English vocabulary. 1. Learn through daily practice. Learning through daily practice means using new vocabulary in your everyday life, which helps make the words stick in your memory. When you practice a word every day, you're more likely to remember it and use it correctly. Repetition is a powerful tool for language learning. Daily practice is one of the best ways to learn and remember new words. It involves making new words a part of your daily routine. The more you use a word, the easier it is to remember. For example, if you learn a word like beautiful, you can use it several times throughout the day to make it familiar. This technique makes vocabulary learning natural and effective because you start to connect words with real-life experiences. When you practice words in different situations, it helps you understand how to use them in the right context. To get the most out of this method, try to use new words and sentences every day. Don't worry about making mistakes at first. The goal is to practice so you get comfortable using the word. For instance, if you learn the word delicious, you can use it in sentences like the cake is delicious or this pizza tastes delicious. By repeating these sentences, you build a stronger connection to the word and understand its meaning better. For example, let's say you learned the word fast. You can use it in various ways during your day. For example, when you're talking about your car, you could say, "My car is fast." Or when you see someone running, you might say, "She runs fast." The more you use fast in different situations, the more it becomes part of your vocabulary. In the beginning, you might not remember the words immediately, but after using them in different sentences for a few days, the words will start to feel more natural. Imagine you're talking about your friend's new bike. You could say, "The bike is fast." By practicing like this daily, you build a habit of using new words in your regular conversations. Tips for you. 1. Use new words as often as possible. Make it a habit to say at least one new word out loud every day. This could be while talking to yourself, your friends, or family. 2. Write a short daily diary. In your diary, try to include new words you've learned. For example, write, "Today, I saw the beautiful flower in the garden," or "The weather was chilly, but I felt warm inside." Writing helps you remember the words better. 3. Speak slowly and clearly. When using new words in conversation, try to speak slowly. This will help you focus on the words and pronounce them correctly. 4. Don't fear making mistakes. Mistakes are part of learning. The more you practice, the more confident you will become in using new words. By practicing daily, these words will become part of your everyday vocabulary. With enough practice, you'll find that you are not just remembering words, but using them naturally and confidently in all kinds of situations. This technique is simple, effective, and can be done anywhere at any time. So, Make daily practice a part of your routine, and soon you'll notice how much your vocabulary grows. 2. Use flashcards. Flashcards are small, portable cards with a word on one side and its meaning or example on the other. They are a simple yet powerful tool for learning new vocabulary. Flashcards help you review words quickly and repeatedly, making them easier to remember. Flashcards are one of the most effective methods for learning and reviewing vocabulary. You can create them yourself using paper or digital apps, and they help you break down the learning process into small, manageable steps. When you use flashcards, you are essentially testing your memory. You see a word on one side, and you try to remember its meaning, pronunciation, or an example sentence on the other side. The beauty of flashcards lies in their ability to provide active recall. Active recall means that you are actively trying to remember something instead of passively reading it. For example, if you have a flashcard with the word adventure, you will try to remember what it means and come up with a sentence such as, "I love going on new adventures." This exercise helps reinforce the meaning of the word in your memory. Flashcards also help you review words efficiently. You can quickly go through your stack of cards, test yourself, and move on to the next word. It's a fun and fast way to reinforce what you've learned. Over time, you can reduce the number of flashcards for words that you remember well, focusing more on the ones you find challenging. For example, let's say you want to learn the word delicate. On one side of the flashcard, you write delicate, and on the other side, you write its meaning, fragile, easily damaged. You can also add a sentence. Be careful with a glass. It's very delicate. Every day, you review your flashcards, looking at each word, saying the meaning out loud, and using it in a sentence. The more you practice, the more familiar the word becomes. Tips for you. 1. Use both sides of the flashcard. On one side, write the word, and on the other side, write the meaning, an example sentence, or even a picture that helps you remember it. For example, if the word is rainy, you could draw a cloud with raindrops. 2. Review your flashcards every day. Spend 10 to 15 minutes each day going through your flashcards. This short, regular practice will help you remember the words over time. 3. Focus on your weak cards. If there are words you keep forgetting, keep those flashcards in a separate pile and review them more often until you remember them. 4. Use digital flashcards. There are apps like Anki or Quizlet that allow you to create flashcards on your phone. These apps often have a spaced repetition system, which helps you focus on words you struggle with. By using flashcards, you turn the learning process into a fun, active, and repetitive game. It's a great way to test yourself and improve your vocabulary, especially when you're on the go or have a few free minutes. Over time, as you keep reviewing your flashcards, the words you learn will become a natural part of your vocabulary. 3. Read regularly. Reading regularly means reading books, articles, or other written material often. When you read, you come across new words, and this helps you learn their meanings and how to use them in different contexts. Regular reading is one of the most natural and effective ways to expand your vocabulary. Reading regularly helps you build a large vocabulary because you see words used in context. When you read, you don't just memorize words. You also understand how they are used in sentences, which makes it easier to remember them. For example, when you read a story and encounter a new word like mysterious, you might guess its meaning based on the context, such as the forest was mysterious and dark. From this, you can understand that mysterious means something that is difficult to understand or full of secrets. By reading regularly, you also see words used in different ways, which helps you learn their different meanings and uses. For example, you might read about strong in one book and strong in another, used in different contexts. One might say, "He is strong," referring to a person's physical strength, while another might say, "The wind is strong," referring to the power of the wind. Reading helps you see how flexible words can be in different situations. Another great advantage of regular reading is that it introduces you to new vocabulary naturally. As you come across unfamiliar words, you can look them up in a dictionary or guess their meaning from the context. Repeating this process every time you read will help you remember more words. The more you read, the more words you encounter, and the easier it becomes to add new words to your vocabulary. For example, imagine you are reading a book and you come across the word joyful. The sentence is, "The children felt joyful when they saw the colorful balloons." From the context, you can guess that joyful means happy or full of joy. If you didn't understand the word, you could look it up in a dictionary to find the exact definition. Then, you could use it in a sentence like, "I felt joyful at the party." This way, you are learning and practicing the word in context. Tips for you. 1. Choose materials that interest you. Reading should be fun. Pick books or articles on topics you enjoy. This will help you stay motivated and make learning new words feel less like a chore. 2. Read a little every day. Even if it's just for 10 to 15 minutes, try to read something every day. This consistent practice will help you learn new words regularly. 3. Use a dictionary or app. When you come across a word you don't know, use a dictionary to find its meaning. Many dictionary apps also provide example sentences to help you understand how to use the word. 4. Make notes of new words. As you read, keep a small notebook or use your phone to write down new words. Review these words at the end of the week to reinforce your learning. 5. Read aloud. Reading aloud helps you remember words better. When you hear yourself say the words, it makes them more familiar and easier to recall. By reading regularly, you expose yourself to a world of new words and expressions. You'll not only learn their meanings, but also how to use them properly in sentences. The more you read, the more your vocabulary will grow, and the easier it will become to speak and write confidently in English. 4. Learn words in context. Learning words in context means understanding how a word is used within a sentence or a situation, rather than just memorizing its meaning. By seeing how a word fits into a real-life situation, you can remember it more easily and use it correctly when speaking or writing. When you learn a word in context, you don't just focus on its meaning, but also on how it is used in different situations. Context helps you understand when and where a word is appropriate, making it easier to remember and use in your own conversations. For example, if you only learn the word chilly by looking at a dictionary definition, you might understand it means cold, but you may not know when to use it. However, if you see it used in a sentence like, "It's chilly outside," "I need a jacket," you understand that chilly means a mild form of coldness and is often used to describe weather. When you learn a word in context, you also understand its connection to other words in a sentence. This helps you grasp its meaning more fully. For example, the word busy can have different meanings based on context. In one sentence, "She is busy with work," the word means that the person has a lot to do. In another sentence, "The street is busy with cars," The word means that there are many things moving or happening. By learning words in context, you can better understand their multiple meanings and how to use them correctly in different situations. Another benefit of learning words in context is that it helps you remember them better. When you see or hear a word used in a situation that makes sense to you, your brain connects the word to the experience. This connection makes the word stick in your memory, and you can recall it more easily when you need it. For example, imagine you are reading a book and you come across the word generous. The sentence reads, "He gave me a generous gift for my birthday." By reading the word in context, you understand that generous means giving more than what is expected, usually out of kindness. You can now use this word in your own sentence, like she is very generous to her friends. Another example could be the word noisy. In one context, the noisy birds woke me up early this morning. You learn that noisy refers to sounds that are loud or disturbing. In another sentence, he has a noisy machine at work. You understand that noisy can also describe things that create loud sounds. Tips for you. 1. Read sentences, not just words. When learning new vocabulary, always try to read the word in a full sentence. This will help you understand how the word is used in context and make it easier to remember. 2. Use the word in your own sentences. After learning a new word in context, try using it in a sentence of your own. This helps you practice and solidify its meaning. 3. Listen to native speakers. Pay attention to how native speakers use words in conversations, TV shows, or movies. Hearing words in real-life situations will help you understand their context and usage better. 4. Connect words to personal experiences. When you learn a new word, think about a personal experience where the word could apply. This connection will make the word more memorable and easier to use. By learning words in context, you make the learning process more natural and meaningful. Instead of just memorizing definitions, you understand how and when to use the words in your own speech or writing. This method helps you become more confident and fluent in English, as you will be able to use words correctly and comfortably in real-life situations. 5. Play word games. Word games are fun activities that challenge you to think about and use words in different ways. They can involve puzzles, quizzes, or other interactive tasks that help you learn and remember vocabulary while having fun. Playing word games is an engaging way to improve your vocabulary and keep the learning process exciting. Playing word games helps reinforce new vocabulary by encouraging you to use the words in creative ways. When you play games, you practice recalling words quickly, which improves your ability to remember and use them in conversations. These games also encourage you to think about words in different contexts, helping you understand their meanings and usage more deeply. For example, games like crossword puzzles or word searches introduce you to new words and help you remember them by making the learning process feel more like a game than a chore. In these games, you are asked to find words based on clues, which not only helps you recall the meaning of the words, but also gives you practice in how they are used. Another great word game is Scrabble, where you create words using letter tiles. This game challenges you to think about word construction and encourages you to use words you might not have thought of otherwise. Word bingo is also another fun way to practice, where you fill in words from a list and then use them in sentences. Games like these help build vocabulary in a relaxed, enjoyable way. What makes word games especially effective is that they often involve repetition. As you play, You are exposed to the same words several times, which strengthens your memory of those words. You also have fun while learning, making it easier to stay motivated and engaged. For example, let's say you play a word search with a list of new vocabulary words. While searching for the words, you are constantly thinking about the meaning of the words and how they look. This repetition helps you remember the words, and you might even try to use some of them in a sentence later. For example, after finding the word mysterious in the word search, you might say, "The mysterious box made me curious." The game makes learning feel natural and enjoyable. Another example is playing a game like Hangman, where you guess letters to form a word. Every time you guess a correct letter, you come closer to figuring out the whole word. This game helps you recall vocabulary words in a fun and interactive way, making learning feel like a game rather than a task. Tips for you. 1. Start with simple games. If you're new to word games, start with easy ones like word searches or matching games. As you get more comfortable, you can try more challenging games like Scrabble or crossword puzzles. 2. Play with friends or family. Word games are even more fun when you play with others. Playing with a friend or family member can help you learn faster because you can challenge each other and learn together. 3. Use apps and online games. There are many online word games and apps available that make learning vocabulary fun. Apps like Words with Friends or Wordscapes allow you to practice vocabulary on your phone, making it easy to learn on the go. 4. Challenge yourself. As you get better at word games, try using more advanced vocabulary or set a time limit for yourself to make the game more exciting. By playing word games, you turn learning into an enjoyable and interactive experience. It's an excellent way to practice vocabulary, improve recall, and have fun at the same time. As you play, you become more comfortable with words and their meanings, helping you become more confident in using them in your daily life. 6. Watch and listen. Watching and listening to English content, such as movies, TV shows, podcasts, or YouTube videos, is a great way to learn new vocabulary. By hearing words used in real-life contexts, you understand how they sound, how they are pronounced, and how they are used in everyday conversations. When you watch and listen to English content, you are exposed to new vocabulary in a natural way. You hear words used in context, which helps you understand their meanings better. Watching and listening also helps you improve your listening skills, which is important for understanding how words sound and how to pronounce them correctly. For example, if you listen to a conversation in a TV show, you'll hear how native speakers use words and sentences, and this can help you understand the tone, rhythm, and context in which words are used. One of the biggest advantages of watching and listening is that it helps you learn pronunciation. Many words in English are pronounced differently than they are written, so by hearing them used in context, you can learn how to say them correctly. For instance, the word though is pronounced differently than it looks, and by hearing it in a sentence like, "I know it's difficult though," you'll understand its correct pronunciation. Watching and listening also helps you learn slang and informal language that is often used in daily conversations. This type of language may not always be taught in textbooks, but it is very useful when speaking English with others. For example, in a movie, you might hear a character say, "What's up?" instead of the more formal, "How are you?" By listening to such expressions, you can use them in casual conversations and sound more natural. For example, imagine you are watching a popular TV show and you hear the phrase, "I'm feeling under the weather." You may not know what it means right away, but after hearing it used in context, such as I'm feeling under the weather today, so I'm going to rest, you can understand that under the weather means feeling sick. You now know how to use it yourself. I'm feeling under the weather. I think I need some tea. Listening to podcasts is another great way to learn. For example, if you listen to an English podcast about daily life, you might hear words like grocery store, traffic, or laundry. These are everyday words that will help you when you go to a store or talk to someone about your day. Tips for you. 1. Choose content that interests you. Find movies, TV shows, or podcasts about topics you enjoy. If you like sports, watch sports events in English. If you like cooking, listen to cooking shows. This will make the learning process more enjoyable. 2. Turn on subtitles. If you're watching a TV show or movie, turn on the English subtitles. This helps you connect the spoken words with their written form and reinforces vocabulary. 3. Listen actively. Don't just let the content play in the background. Pay close attention to how words are used and try to repeat what you hear. This will help you remember the words better. 4. Use language learning apps. Some apps, like Duolingo or Babbel, offer listening exercises that help you practice vocabulary in real-life situations. 5. Repeat and mimic. After listening to a phrase or sentence, try repeating it aloud. This practice will help you improve both your vocabulary and pronunciation. By watching and listening to English content, you expose yourself to new words, phrases, and expressions in a way that is both fun and educational. This method helps you understand how words are used in real-life conversations, and you can learn pronunciation and slang that will make you sound more natural when speaking English. The more you listen and watch, the more vocabulary you will pick up without even realizing it. 7. Group similar words. Grouping similar words means organizing vocabulary by categories or themes. This method involves learning words that are related in meaning, function, or context, so you can easily remember them together and use them in the right situations. When you group similar words together, it becomes easier to understand and remember them. This method helps you make connections between words, which strengthens your vocabulary and makes it easier to recall when needed. For example, if you're learning the word happy, grouping it with other positive emotions, such as joyful, excited, content, and pleased, allows you to understand their differences and similarities. These words all describe positive feelings, and by learning them together, you can remember them more easily. Grouping words by theme or category also helps you use them correctly in sentences. For example, if you're learning vocabulary related to food, such as apple, banana, grape, and orange, you can better remember them by thinking of them as a category of fruits. Later, when you're speaking or writing, you can recall them easily because you associate them with that specific category. Another benefit of grouping similar words is that it helps you build more complex sentences. Once you've grouped words based on themes, you can mix and match them to form more detailed sentences. For instance, after learning words like rainy, cloudy, and stormy under the theme of weather, you can say, "Today is a rainy day," or "It looks stormy outside." This helps you use your vocabulary more effectively in conversations. Moreover, grouping similar words helps you expand your vocabulary by making you aware of related words that you might not have learned individually. For example, if you learn the word bright, you might also learn words like shiny, glowing, and radiant, which all describe something with light. For example, if you group words by emotions, you might learn a set like happy joyful, excited, pleased, delighted, content, sad, unhappy, disappointed, gloomy, sorrowful, depressed. Now, when you feel one of these emotions, you can choose the most appropriate word based on the situation. If someone gave you good news, you could say, "I'm so happy." But if you missed a fun event, you could say, "I'm feeling a bit disappointed." By grouping words like this, you make it easier to express yourself accurately. Similarly, you can group words related to actions such as walking, strolling, hiking, marching, wandering, talking, chatting, discussing, whispering, arguing. When you are speaking, you will have a variety of words to choose from to express the same idea, depending on the situation. Tips for you. 1. Create word lists by category. Write down groups of words based on topics like emotions, weather, travel, food, etc. Review these lists regularly to help you remember and use them. 2. Use flashcards. On one side, write a word, and on the other side, write related words. This is a great way to quiz yourself and reinforce your learning. 3. Practice using words and sentences. Once you group words together, try making sentences with those words. This will help you understand how to use them properly in context. 4. Learn synonyms and antonyms. By learning words that have similar or opposite meanings, you expand your vocabulary and can express yourself in a variety of ways. For example, learning synonyms for happy, like cheerful, or content helps you use these words in different contexts. 5. Connect words to images or situations. To remember words better, try connecting them to images or real-life situations. For example, think of a rainy day when you recall words like stormy or wet. Grouping similar words together helps you remember and use them more effectively. By organizing vocabulary into categories, you make it easier to recall the words and use them in your speech or writing. This method also allows you to expand your vocabulary and express yourself more clearly and confidently. 8. Create stories. Creating stories involves using new vocabulary in your own made-up scenarios or real-life situations. By crafting stories, you can practice using words in context, which helps you understand their meanings and remember them better. Storytelling is a creative and fun way to reinforce vocabulary. When you create stories, you use new words and sentences, giving you a chance to see how they work together. This method is especially effective because it helps you apply what you've learned in a creative way. For example, when you learn new vocabulary, you might find it difficult to remember the words unless you see them used in a story. However, by making your own stories, you practice using the words repeatedly, which improves your memory. Storytelling helps you understand how words fit into different contexts, making it easier to recall them later. For instance, imagine you've learned the word adventure. Instead of just memorizing its definition, you create a short story like, "Once upon a time, a young girl went on an adventure in the forest." By using the word adventure in this context, you better understand its meaning and can recall it the next time you need it. Another benefit of creating stories is that it helps you connect words to emotions, actions, and places. For example, if you're learning words related to emotions such as angry, surprised, and happy, you can write a story about a character experiencing these feelings. Mary was angry because she lost her keys. She was surprised when she found them under the couch. Then, she was happy when she could leave the house on time. In this way, You can see how different words can be used to describe situations and feelings, helping you use them in your conversations or writing. For example, let's say you're learning words related to animals such as lion, elephant, and giraffe. You can create a simple story like, once there was a lion who lived in the jungle. The lion was very strong and proud. One day, the lion met an elephant who was kind and wise. They became good friends. Together, they met a giraffe who was very tall and loved to see the world from above. The three animals had many fun adventures together. In this story, you practice using the words lion, elephant, and giraffe in context, which helps you remember them more easily. The story also gives you a clear image of each animal, making it more memorable. You can also create stories about your own life. For example, if you learn the word birthday, you can write a story like, "It was my birthday yesterday. I had a big party with my friends. We ate cake, played games, and had a lot of fun." By creating this story, you are practicing the word birthday in a meaningful way, making it easier to recall. Tips for you. 1. Start small. Begin with short stories. They don't have to be long or complex. You can write simple sentences using new words. For example, "I went to the park and saw a dog" is a good start. 2. Use pictures or prompts. If you're stuck, use pictures or prompts to help you start your story. Look at a picture of a park or a beach and create a story based on it. This can help you use vocabulary related to nature, people, and activities. 3. Incorporate new words regularly. As you learn new vocabulary, make sure to use those words in your stories. The more you use them, the better you will remember them. 4. Read your stories aloud. After you create a story, read it out loud. This will help you practice pronunciation and reinforce the words in your memory. 5. Share your stories. Share your stories with friends, family, or classmates. This helps you practice speaking and using the vocabulary in a social setting, and they might even give you tips on improving your storytelling. Creating stories is a powerful way to practice and remember new vocabulary. It makes learning more engaging by allowing you to use the words in context. By telling stories, you reinforce your memory and make new words a natural part of your vocabulary. Plus, storytelling is fun, and it helps you connect with the language in a creative way. 9. Use apps and websites. Using apps and websites refers to the practice of utilizing digital tools designed to help learners improve their vocabulary. These platforms provide interactive exercises, quizzes, games, and activities that can make learning new words more engaging and effective. In today's digital age, there are many apps and websites available that can help you learn vocabulary in a fun and interactive way. These tools often include flashcards, vocabulary games, word lists, and even quizzes that test your knowledge. Using apps and websites allows you to practice vocabulary at your own pace, making learning more flexible and accessible. One of the biggest advantages of using digital tools is that they provide immediate feedback, so you can quickly see if you've understood the word or if you need more practice. For example, apps like Duolingo and Memrise are designed to teach vocabulary through repetition and quizzes. These apps present new words in small, manageable steps and encourage you to revisit them regularly. As you progress, the apps adjust to your learning speed, providing a personalized experience that fits your needs. By using these tools, you can constantly test your knowledge and improve your vocabulary over time. Websites like Quizlet allow you to create your own vocabulary flashcards or use those created by others. Flashcards are a great way to review and memorize words, and you can easily track your progress. Some websites also offer games where you match words with their definitions, synonyms, or antonyms, which makes learning more fun. For instance, you might play a game where you match the word sunny with other words that describe weather, like clear or warm. Moreover, many apps and websites use a spaced repetition system, SRS, which helps you review words at increasing intervals to strengthen your memory. This system is proven to help improve long-term retention, meaning the more you practice a word, the more likely you are to remember it in the future. Apps like Anki are built on this method, and they can be particularly useful for building a strong vocabulary foundation. For example, let's say you're learning new words related to travel, such as airport, hotel, tourist, and flight. You can use an app like Duolingo to learn these words. The app will introduce you to each word, test your understanding, and then ask you to match them with images or definitions. Over time, the app will revisit these words, helping you remember them for the long term. If you use Quizlet, you can create a flashcard set with words related to travel. You can write the word on one side of the card and the definition on the other. As you review the flashcards, you'll start to remember the words more easily. You can also try playing matching games or tests on Quizlet, which will make your learning experience even more engaging. Another example is using Anki, which will allow you to create your own flashcards and review them with spaced repetition. This will ensure that you revisit the words you've learned at regular intervals, helping to reinforce your memory. Tips for you. 1. Set goals. Many apps allow you to set daily or weekly goals. Make a habit of practicing a certain number of words each day and try to meet your goals. This will keep you motivated and on track. 2. Track your progress. Most apps provide statistics about your progress, such as how many words you've learned or how much time you've spent on practice. Use these stats to see how far you've come and to push yourself to improve. 3. Practice regularly. The more you use apps and websites, the more vocabulary you'll learn. Try to practice every day, even if it's just for a few minutes. 4. Use apps that match your level. Choose apps or websites that are suited to your current vocabulary level. Many apps allow you to start with beginner words and progress to more advanced ones as your skills improve. 5. Make learning fun. Many apps use games and rewards to make learning enjoyable. Take advantage of these features to make your vocabulary practice feel like a fun challenge rather than a task. Using apps and websites is an excellent way to learn and practice vocabulary. These tools offer interactive and engaging ways to improve your word knowledge, track your progress, and make learning more enjoyable. Whether you're using flashcards, playing vocabulary games, or learning through quizzes, these digital resources can help you expand your vocabulary efficiently. So, take advantage of the many free and paid apps and websites available, and make vocabulary learning a part of your daily routine. 10. Talk with friends. Talking with friends refers to the practice of having conversations in English with people around you, which helps you use and reinforce the vocabulary you've learned. Engaging in regular conversations with friends allows you to practice words in real-life contexts, improving both your vocabulary and fluency. One of the most effective ways to learn new vocabulary is to actively use it in conversations. When you talk with friends, you have the opportunity to practice speaking and listening in a comfortable, low-pressure environment. This allows you to experiment with new words, ask questions, and clarify meanings in a way that helps solidify your understanding of the vocabulary. For example, when you learn a new word, such as delicious, you might use it in a conversation with a friend by saying, "This pizza is so delicious." By using the word in a real conversation, you get immediate feedback from your friend, and you also get to practice pronunciation, sentence structure, and how to use the word appropriately in different contexts. Talking with friends also helps you learn words that are commonly used in everyday conversations, making your vocabulary more practical and useful. You may pick up slang, idiomatic expressions, or regional terms that are often not found in textbooks. For instance, your friend might use the phrase, "It's raining cats and dogs," to describe heavy rain. By hearing and using such expressions, you expand your vocabulary and gain a deeper understanding of the language. Additionally, conversations allow you to practice using words in different situations. For example, if you're talking about a movie, you might use words like exciting, boring, or fun. If you're talking about food, you could use words like spicy, sweet, or sour. This helps you learn not just individual words, but also how to use them correctly in different contexts. For example, imagine you and your friend are talking about your weekend plans. You might say, "I'm going to the beach this weekend. The weather will be sunny and warm. I hope it will be fun." In this conversation, you use words like sunny, warm, and fun to describe your plans. By saying these words out loud and in context, you are reinforcing your vocabulary and learning how to use them naturally. In another conversation, you and your friend might talk about a book you both read. You could say, "I think the book was interesting. The main character was very brave, and the story was exciting." Here, you practice using words like interesting, brave, and exciting, which helps strengthen your understanding and memory of these words. Tips for you. 1. Speak regularly. Try to talk in English with friends as often as possible. Even if it's just for a few minutes each day, regular conversation will help you get more comfortable with new words. 2. Ask for feedback. When you use a new word, ask your friend if you used it correctly. This helps you learn from any mistakes and improves your language skills. 3. Use new vocabulary. When you learn a new word, make an effort to use it in your conversations. The more you use it, the more likely you are to remember it. 4. Ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask your friends what certain words mean or how to use them in different situations. This will help you expand your vocabulary and deepen your understanding of the language. 5. Listen carefully. Pay attention to the words your friends use and try to incorporate them into your own vocabulary. This can expose you to new expressions or words that you may not have learned yet. Talking with friends is a great way to practice your vocabulary in a natural, real-world setting. It helps you reinforce what you've learned and gain confidence in using new words. So, make sure to engage in conversations with your friends and don't be afraid to use the new words you've learned. It's one of the best ways to improve your vocabulary and become more comfortable with the language. Thank you for watching English Tone. Start using these techniques today, and you'll see how fast your vocabulary improves. Which tip did you like the most? Share your answer in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more helpful videos. Stay tuned for our next video. It has a secret technique you won't want to miss.